everybody. Welcome to How Do You Say Yaros?
Welcome!
Yo, ma.
It's been a minute, people. We missed ya.
We have. Although it'll be coming out in order, so nobody will know it's been a while.
I know, but it feels like it's been a minute since we've done this, so it's fun.
Yeah.
How's it going? Adam?
It's been good. We're living the dream. We're moving along. We're enjoying a rainy Saturday.
That's right. And today we're going to get to talk about
study abroad experiences.
Because we both had them.
Yeah, we both very different ones, so it'll be very fun. But so Gabby, what made you want to study abroad?
All right, I studied abroad my junior year of college, and I actually did not want to study abroad.
Really?
Yeah, no, because my sister Caitlin, she had studied abroad, and I was very kind of scared by a lot of her experiences, and I also historically have not been a huge travel fan. Just kind of I like where I'm at, and I loved William & Mary, so I really didn't, in many ways, I'm why would I leave here during my time?
Very true.
But my sister went, and I did see benefits from it, and I was also very scared to be far away from my family, even though my family lived in Jersey, and I was going to school in Virginia, but if I needed them, they could get to me. So I was very afraid of the idea of going to a foreign country, but to live there on my own. The things that really changed my mind or made me do it was simply my sister said that it would be good for me, and I really did want to improve my Spanish.
Very true. Yeah, no better way to do that.
It's what forced me to put in the application and follow through with it, to the point where my first night study abroad, I remember I was in the bed, and I literally looked around and I was like, oh my gosh, who tricked me? I am now here for 4.5 months, and I can't leave. I can't just be nah. And I'm who tricked me into doing this? I know. What made you study abroad?
That, what was it? So I got to go on one in my college and one in seminary. The seminary was free, and it seemed like a great way to do it.
I didn't realize you did too.
Well, one was an internship. I'm counting that as
definitely counting.
But the other one was it was just a 2-week, guys, or a week and a half in Italy.
Right.
Yeah. So it was, part of it was I always wanted to see Europe.
Yep.
And I thought, and all the stuff with it. And the other was, I wanted to go to Africa. So, yeah, it was, really, it was just these are incredible opportunities. And I figure Italy will probably come around again because we both want to go back.
Yeah.
But, I figured why not? It's once in a lifetime. Everything was arranged for and kind of at a reasonable price.
Right.
So it was let's go while we can,
So how'd you choose where to go? Were there multiple options, or?
Italy was one. Well, you could do a semester one, but I was kind of locked in with being an RA.
Right.
So,
definitely.
and that was I don't want to lose money, so.
And didn't you finish college in shorter time?
I did 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, only 3 years.
Yeah, so
wow.
it was a plan, but Italy was kind of the one study abroad, but it was I wanted to do it for quite a while, so.
Oh, fabulous. Had you ever been to Italy before?
No, it was, no,
wow.
I've never been to Italy before that, so it was my 1 year experience in Europe, really, too.
And where did it take you in Italy?
We did the northern tour, so we did Milan, Venice, Florence, Pisa, Rome, Florence.
Wow.
Did you do similar when you went to Italy?
Yeah, some similar places.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and then how did you choose South Africa?
It was study abroad was going on they're called International Field Education in Seminary.
Wow.
So you get this option, and they had a whole bunch of sites, but I wanted to kind of learn a few things. One, because I wanted the opportunity to go abroad, but also just having done missions trips and things like that, I didn't want to do one where I didn't speak any of the language, because then I felt okay, I'm really not going to be able to contribute for I'm only there 10 weeks.
Right.
I'm not going to become proficient in Spanish, Italian, any other language in that quick period. So, I wanted to use it to still learn, not just to be in a different culture.
Awesome.
But India was in English, so I looked for all the English ones. And then South Africa was too, which is English is widely spoken.
Wow.
Or pretty much one of the major languages. So,
awesome.
those were kind of. So then, South Africa ended up appealing in some more ways. I thought that, just cool opportunities. It was more working in a church versus a school, things like that.
Oh, that's really cool.
How'd you choose your site?
Really, Caitlin chose it for me.
Nice.
So I actually had first wanted to go, I knew obviously Spanish speaking, I wanted to work on my Spanish. But because I'm not a native speaker, my dad is, and that side of the family, a lot of them are, but we didn't grow up speaking Spanish, so we learned in school. And I was pretty good from learning in school, but I really wanted to get better at it. So that was study abroad.
Yeah.
So I had gone to a bunch of places in Latin America already, like for mission trips. So I really liked it there.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to do my study abroad there.
Nice.
But then I was talking to Caitlin about it, and she really encouraged me to go to Europe, because she said, like, as far as traveling, there will be no other opportunity to be able to travel around there with such ease.
Makes sense. So much sense.
I was like, that's very true. So went to Spain, and then I visited her in Barcelona, which is where she went.
Mm-hmm.
And although Barcelona is very beautiful and there's a lot of great things, it was in many ways a party place
Gotcha.
for people. And not that Caitlin's like a party girl, but she, did like go to some clubs with friends just to like enjoy the different kinds of places, and I'm less about that, very much so. So
yeah.
I was really not wanting to go to Barcelona, and she knew that. And definitely thought it wouldn't be a good fit for me. But her friend Daniela had gone to study abroad in Sevilla, Spain, which is South Spain. And Caitlin had visited there, and she said it would just absolutely be the perfect place.
Nice.
Yeah, because it was more of a, like, Barcelona's such a big city.
Yeah.
And Sevilla is a city, but, like, smaller feel, more, like, spread out, more family feel of it.
Yeah.
And it really was a perfect fit for me.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a gorgeous place.
I love it.
To go back there, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So what was, like, I can't say the top highlight, but, like, one or two highlights from...
Yeah. I would say, definitely, I had a host family. I had a host mom, Mercedes, and she was incredible. I had an amazing roommate, Sarah Graham, and we were just so, like, it was perfect to be with her. She also loves God. So she really helped me, like, faith-wise, and just with that kind of thing. She also, like, loves her family, so, like, if, like, we're both Skyping family, like, she's all about that, like, all that kind of stuff. We just, she's just a great person. She's so much fun. She's, like, great to connect with. So I had her as a roommate, and then Mary Kate was also kind of a roommate. Her host mom was the floor below us.
Aww.
And, yeah, and so she, like, in many ways, and our host moms were best friends.
Yeah.
So, like, we were always with Mary Kate, too, and she also loves God, and, like, we're just, like, we could work out together. Like, honestly, if I didn't have Mary Kate there, I would have been a little nervous, maybe, especially in the beginning, to like find a way to work out, because a lot of people don't go running there.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
I should say, we saw runners, but often it was men.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, Mary Kate is, like, quite an athlete, so it was great to have someone to run with. So just great to have them to explore with in many ways.
Yeah.
And my host mom was just incredibly generous to me, and like loved me and Sarah Graham. Everybody was jealous of our host mom.
Oh, I can imagine. She made you cookies, right?
She did. So, like, with the cookies, they don't make chocolate chip cookies there.
Yeah.
And everybody craves different things, and Mary Kate's, like, very much a cook. So she had been talking about, how making them, but we didn't also, like, no, it's not our kitchen, blah, blah, blah. So, like, but our host moms loved us so much, they were like, all right, you talk about these galletas, like, we'll get the stuff, and they got us the ingredients. Like, I even think now, we didn't even go buy the ingredients ourselves. They got it for us. And oh my gosh, when you know what ingredient they were most surprised by?
The amount of butter, right?
Oh my gosh, they could not believe the mantequilla. They were like, no, with the butter. And we were like, no, you don't understand. Like, just trust us. It has to have the butter. And do you think they enjoyed the cookie? They were still like, oh, so much butter, but we're so glad you like it. Like, they were so happy that we liked it.
They were so happy that you can enjoy it.
Yeah, they were so cute. Like, she would make us just amazing. Oh, the food she made. Oh my gosh. Lunches. Like, did you have a favorite meal that people did, like, in South Africa or?
Yeah, it wasn't like anything crazy though.
Okay, like, for in Spain, they have a big lunch.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was so bummed on the days that I had to go to university, because then she would pack me lunch. Actually, she packed me a huge lunch. It was fabulous.
Aww.
But I loved being home for lunch.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because it was the most magnificent thing. She would make us a big salad with all this stuff in it. And then she would make a fish or a meat. Like a fresh. Yeah. And then she would make she would get us fresh bread that day. She would get us fresh fruit from like that day. And she would make a dessert. And a lot of times there would be like a big soup, like a stew kind of. And I always loved them.
Like a paella?
No, like a potato and broth and a meat in it, like a big stew with like beans. Oh, it was so good. So I would just like kill it on those huge lunches.
Oh, that sounds phenomenal.
Oh,
Love a big lunch.
man.
Love a big lunch.
Yeah, so I was really blessed by my kind of roommate situation and host parent situation. It really helped my Spanish a lot because she would really help us with that. And then really just like God really helped me like the whole time, because it really made me, depend on God, like just being there without my family. And I mean, he really taught me a lot, and just like experiences with him, like I think about like just walking down the streets by myself or taking public transportation and just like praying through it and stuff. So yeah. What about you? What are some highlights from it?
I think I loved our, Italy was with a whole bunch of college students.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a fun just being with a lot of very different people and making a lot of new friendships.
So true.
A lot of them were, we had our class, and then also we did with a touring choir from the college.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was interesting because like normally, like, not in a bad way, I just didn't really hang out with musicians because they have so many weird things like time-wise and scheduling-wise.
Right.
Like, and just didn't share really many classes. So it was really cool getting to actually meet a lot of different people that like...
Were they from New Jersey?
Oh, no, they were all Valley Forge students.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so some were from New Jersey, I guess, but so that actually was super enjoyable of like... But it that was just a super fun group to go and like see Italy with and experience, and we also laughed at them because they had to do all these singing things while like our group was
just exploring.
Yeah, and that was like super important to all of us. Like we were very clear. Like I think we went to one of their bookings, but it was like we did not come for a singing tour. We came to like. We paid for the museums, like that was
so
really
awesome.
important to us, and and I wanted that. Not that I didn't love like missions trips and things, but like I did not want to have this awkward moment of like I really want to see all these things. Like, okay, I know exactly what I'm signing up for. This is an academic class. This is important to me.
Did like when you came back to Valley Forge, were you guys like continue to be friends with any of the group?
No more than probably beforehand.
Sure.
But there was a bit more like friendliness. It was cool, like you had a new person to talk to. Like I don't think like my friend groups did not radically change at all from it.
Yeah.
But it was like a cool like okay, I now know somebody that I would have never talked to beforehand.
Totally.
Yeah. So that was a
I remember that, like, because mine was a William and Mary group, and like there were people that. It was so weird. Like, we all got there, and I was like, you went to William and Mary? Like, you go to William and Mary?
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen you before, It's, like, so funny that obviously can happen, I guess.
Oh, so cool.
Cool.
And then South Africa was just incredible all around. Really, one of the highlights was learning to drive stick shift, and which was terrifying because I learned a little bit beforehand.
Oh, my gosh.
But in Johannesburg, where I was, it's really a car-heavy city, so, like, public transportation is just not really a thing there.
Wow.
Like, they have a little bit of a train system that they're developing, but it's pretty minuscule in a lot of ways still. Wrong lane. But it was like, okay, and it's very hilly, which is very hard to do.
It's so scary to drive in a foreign country.
And, the driving, it was the stick shift part that was so because you're doing that, but like you're stalling, you're moving on all these things. It's not my car, like.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was super fun to learn because now, like, once you got it was great to enjoy, but it was like, it was super nerve-wracking at the time frame in it. But yeah, no, that was one, and it was just cool seeing like a completely different continent, and like it was just a fascinating place to be. Really loved it.
That's awesome.
So, would you do it again?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think I'm more just so glad I didn't.
Would you recommend it? How about
Oh, I would totally recommend it. Yeah.
Sorry, bad
yeah,
choice.
I don't know that I would do it again, but like if I had to go back in time and decide to do it again,
that's what I meant.
Absolutely. Like, I think I benefited so much from it. Even like there are things that it like you'd learn about, like living in a city. Like, I hadn't really lived in a city before, and I would always say, like, I never want to live in a city. Mm-hmm. But now I have, and I did like a lot of things about it. Like,
fair enough.
I loved that you could walk. Like, the idea was you were going to walk most places. Loved that.
Yeah, that is nice.
Absolutely loved that. And one thing I liked about that, actually, it was like, especially with Sevilla, like, things would just close at weird hours. Like, they were like, we're done for the day, So, like, what would happen is, let's say I had classes that day, and then I would come back, and maybe I had to pick up I had errands, like, pick up something at 2 different shops, right? Like, it was funny because, depending on when I could get back from university, like, with the metro, like, I would get back, like, walk as fast as I can into the centro and, like, the center of the city.
Yeah.
And I would go in and, like, maybe I get to one of the shops, but the other one's closed by the time.
Oh, gosh.
So it was just kind of like, but it took the pressure off because as far as anyone who lived there, like Mercedes, like in talking to me, she was like, why would you, well, obviously you'll just get the other thing like on Thursday when it opens. Like they wouldn't expect, like here, let's say with your job, they're like, well, you have to get 5 things from different stores. It would be expected you come to your job with it the next day, like if that's what they want.
Sure, yeah.
And with them, it was almost like, well, of course you can't walk all over the city in one night, like, or you can't, those stores close early, like, it's just like, it'll take you longer to get the things you need, and
nice.
when you get it, and, like, so some of that, I feel like it forced you to slow down, just because of their way of life, and, like, the nature of how the city was.
Ooh.
So I mean, actually, that's not like cities here, I guess.
Yeah,
but in the way that they function, it was that way. So I love. I never would experience that kind of thing, and the trips were awesome.
Sure.
Like the trips were so cool, and I wouldn't have gone on such a variety of trips because like sometimes one of the other people, like I went on trips with a variety of the different classmates, and sometimes just because like a group of people really wanted to go to Paris, and none were like my best friend, but I really want to go to Paris, so I'll go with those people. And in that way it was cool because you get to travel with different people, and I always made sure to travel like there was someone who I'm on the same page with, because like
of course.
you gotta have some people that like if everyone else is gonna stay late at a bar and I really don't want to, like I made sure like looking at the group there would be someone probably who's gonna walk home with me late at night, so it was just nice though because I got to have different experiences because of the variety of people I think I got to go with,
That makes total sense.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it was fun. Like one thing we did, which I would love to do here actually, one group of people, we went to Mallorca and we had a good time. It was supposed to be a beautiful beach place. We did go to the beach like one time. Otherwise it was like rainy and whatever. So we were kind of hanging out in like this little apartment that we had rented. It was kind of a sketchy area. But we ended up deciding to rent a van.
Yeah.
And thankfully one of the guys could drive stick shift, and we just drove
the
countryside. Someone had one of the maps, but we had no destination.
Yeah.
And we just drove to drive and like see whatever we saw. And then if we like saw in the countryside like ruins of a castle, we stopped and like explored it, and then we kept going.
Very cool.
And I would love to do that around here. Like we could do that, and just like drive and see. But I mean, when would you you have that free time to explore in that context?
Well, and scenic New Jersey.
Yeah, we'd have to maybe go somewhere else.
You mean the better state, Pennsylvania?
Or actually not even. You could do that in New Jersey and just like see cute main streets. There are cute main streets that you never really see.
I was going with countryside, like
countryside.
Yeah, and
there is, no.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, but it is a cool place. I get that. It would be fun to do, just take off and explore like that.
Yeah, and then you stop wherever you stop, and maybe you find this awesome food place.
Ooh, really I could go for a taco. Speaking, I'm getting hungry now.
Would you have done it? Would you?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like even if it turned out poorly, you'd want to. It's such a hard experience to like replace, and like.
So true.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone, try something new, and if you love it, now you have a great place to go. And I enjoyed all mine, but even if you didn't, at least you have like, unless you're missing something significant, like
right.
Yeah, but it's like. You're doing like a summer one. It's 10 weeks. You're not missing that much.
Oh, yeah.
But it's hard to think that like you could not get that experience somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible. Yeah, it's a perfect little thing to try.
Agreed, baby. Endorsed.
Well, hey, go abroad. Find your place. Find your home.
Yes. Choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Make good choices. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
We'll see you guys soon.
Yes.